Hey guys, welcome to Nuance. I'm Ian, and we're back with more Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Last episode, we got Echidna and the Chimera, and Percy almost died. Because partially due to Athena, Percy again did send the head to Olympus, but then Athena was like, you know what, because of that, I'm going to let my daughter, I'm not going to help her in her time of need and her life being in danger, because I'm a goddess, I can do whatever I want. Poseidon reached out finally, though, so there's something at least. Man, I still hate that so much. God, that's a terrible feeling. I had to imagine. Okay. Oh, they even did this. Sorry, I know it's the simple things,
Look, I'm sorry about shoving you in the stairwell. Even hearing myself say that sounds really bad, but I knew you'd never agree, and there wasn't enough time. So, he saved me. My dad. I guess I just really never thought that's something he'd do for me. So maybe I gotta take things more seriously now. Car.
No.
That's not a car, it's a bike. Just let it pass.
The fates weave the life strand of every living thing. When you see a string cut...
It means one of us is going to die.
We're all gonna die, eventually.
Soon. It's a warning.
We old ladies with a ball of yarn can't know what's gonna happen. What I choose to do changes what's gonna happen. And I can choose to do anything I want.
Need some help?
Oh, oh God, here he is.
Summer solstice is just a few days away. And as much as I'd love to see a good war pop off, as your big cousin, I feel like maybe I want to give you a hand.
Big
Cousin?
Ares.
You must be Athena's kid.
Olympians fight. We betray. We backstab. We will push anyone down a flight of stairs to get ahead. And that's why I love my family so much. My dad knows he's not getting this bolt back with quests or goose chases. He knows there's a war coming. And in reality, I think he's okay with that. I think he feels it's just time for a war, so we're gonna have a war. Isn't that great? I left my shield there.
Oh,
you
boy.
get me my shield back, and I'll get you to the underworld by lunch tomorrow with a plan to invade Hades' palace.
You left your shield? Like, forgot it on the merry-go-round?
Okay, the chirping was funny to me for a minute, but it is getting old. So do we have a deal, or am I killing all three of you so I can eat in peace?
Okay.
Great. One catch. I really do need that shield back, so I'm gonna keep the satyr here as collateral. So you don't run off.
What?
What? No.
Okay.
Okay, it's different. It's not necessarily bad. I just don't like it because, he's with Ares, and that's... Ares not going to do anything to him. Well, not going to kill him.
It seems like...
Wait, Percy, stop!
Okay, what just happened?
Just hold still. Give me a second.
Hephaestus.
In the mechanism there.
Celestial
That's celestial bronze.
Fascinating. Annabeth, what is happening right now? Oh, you're kidding. He met her here? In her husband's park? That's so wrong.
Yeah,
They got caught, and he had to leave in a hurry. One thing Ares was telling the truth about, this family is a mess.
Yeah, it is. You kind of should have got that from the whole grandpa eating his kids and whatnot.
Don't you even try to tell me not to be worried about this.
I didn't say anything.
I can feel you thinking it. This must be where Ares and Aphrodite got caught.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
What is happening?
They're you're being broadcasted. Heard it before. You mean they don't know this? Oh, kids these days. God dang it. Jesus.
Wait, I know this. Hephaestus' story.
Yep, tossed from Olympus by Hera.
She said this is what the gods are like to each other. This is the kind of family they are. Maybe you were right. Maybe she should have been preparing me better.
Maybe she was preparing you. When you got to us, you'd be different than this.
Now payback. Even though the wrong two are here. This feels like almost feels like Oogie Boogie. Ooh, and this is not built for safety for mortals, so this is gonna be scary and dangerous. Come on, Percy. Whoa! What's going on? What was that? Don't you do it.
Did you just pull me out of there with that water power stuff?
No,
Did you just...
I don't know.
Did
Maybe
you?
figuring this out as I go.
Yeah, man, it's new to him.
That night is the worst night of the year every year by far.
This one in particular, it seems. Since one of
Just
those
trying to get him
kids
to
somehow
talk
walked
about
off with the Master Wolf.
Says you. Who knows who actually took it? Plenty of people hate my dad enough to try.
Maybe, but not many people who could pull it off. Someone who could slip away long enough to do it without being missed, bold enough to cross Zeus, stealthy enough to get their hands on the thing.
Enough. Not everything is a puzzle that needs to be solved. You're as bad as my sister.
Always making things more complicated than they need to be so people will think she's smarter than you.
Thank you. I can't be the only one who sees it, right?
No, not at all.
It certainly feels that way sometimes. And seriously, she's the smart one? Really? People only see what they want to see and ignore anything at all that doesn't fit the story they like to tell themselves.
Exactly, like you being the one to find the lightning thief and not her.
What did you mean by that?
What?
Found the thief. We both know your friend didn't steal the bolt.
Yeah. But Zeus thinks he did. Which is kind of all that matters, right?
Shut up.
The chair is the bargain. One of us goes in, the other gets the shield.
I'll do it.
What? Wait a minute.
Whoever goes in isn't coming out. That seems pretty clear.
I know, that's why I said wait.
This isn't the arch, seaweed brain. You're not pushing me into the stairwell again.
Yes, I am.
I'm not gonna let you this time. It doesn't work that way.
It's why you're here. We dodged at the arch, barely, but maybe this isn't something you can dodge forever.
The Oracle chose you. The gods chose
Stop.
you.
It isn't about that.
What could it possibly be about if it isn't about that?
You're better at this than me. You just are. And you know it. Believe me, I wish there was another way this quest succeeds. I just don't see it.
God, you're 12 years old, man. Like, oh, she's gonna lose another friend. Or she feels like she's losing another friend.
I was gonna say, when this quest is done, can you maybe swing back here and try to get me out of this thing?
You think you had to ask?
Just making sure.
This is a bad idea. Stand up.
I can't.
Percy, stand up. I mean it.
It's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Is that Hephaestus?
Can I help you?
Yes! Timothy Omundson!
You walk out of here with that shield, and you're a hero, on your way to the greatest glory. She will be proud, and you will be forgiven, and all will go back to being as it always has been. Always will be, as it should be.
It isn't how it should be. It isn't. Ares is that way. Zeus is that way. My mother is that way. He isn't that way. He's better than that. Maybe I was that way once. But I don't want to be that way anymore. I won't be like all of you. I just won't.
Yeah, Hephaestus was always kind of the more empathic one, considering how he was treated.
Some of us don't like being that way either. You're a good kid, Annabeth. I'll put in a good word with your mom for you.
Oh, class.
Get in. Don't. I really don't care, but in a few hours, this thing is going to be at the Lotus Casino in Vegas. Hermes hangs out there. You play your cards right, and his personal driver can get you to LA in minutes. Here. Clothes, cash, drachmas to summon Hermes. Your dad had plenty of kids he stopped caring about once he lost interest. You'll have lots of company.
We're not gonna fail. And I'm getting pretty tired of you saying it.
Percy,
Uh-oh.
You think you know who I am,
Here it is.
but you don't. And if you aren't careful, you're gonna find out.
Percy.
Okay, chill. Chill. Oh, that was good delivery, man. Ooh, Walker Bud.
Well,
What about them zebra?
this smells.
First you get to talk to a zebra?
If it gets us where we need to go, that's all that matters.
Just a small
Assuming
thing.
Ares was telling the truth.
He wasn't. Not entirely, at any rate.
That boy Grover.
He was holding something back.
Doing some
How do you know?
interrogation.
Because I think I got it out of him. I know who stole the Master Bowl.
Well, you think you know who stole the Master Bolt. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Unless he knows at this point, which would be weird. I don't know, it'd be interesting to... Sorry, we'll get to that in a second. Okay. Okay, so we did get to see Ares today, and we got a surprise visit from Hephaestus, which I kind of... Well, I don't know if I think I might have suspected we were going to see Hephaestus this episode. Only because I knew that they'd already casted him. But originally he didn't show up until the 4th book, I think. I don't remember exactly. But, I mean, I recognize freaking Timothy Omundson's voice anywhere. And I'm hoping we get more of him. I mean, I'm sure we will get more if they're able to continue past the second season, because I know they're already starting the second season, or filming it. But I just hope I'm hoping that's not the last we see of him in this season. Like, he's not just there for a moment, because granted, he can't move around. Well, he can't. He's better now. I don't know by how much better he's gotten, because I don't think he's ever gonna be fully recovered. For those that, if there's anybody that doesn't know, you might not know who Timothy Omundson is. But he had a stroke a few years ago, and it's it's a lot of his motor functions. His motor functions are the same. Like part of his face doesn't, it's not as reactive. It doesn't. The muscles don't work to the same capacity. Walking is a little more difficult. He uses a cane. I don't know if he uses a cane all the time, but which it kind of works with playing Hephaestus, because Hephaestus is the only like lame god. Lame, obviously, I'm meaning like he's got a limp. Like the one lame disfigured god. At least I know that's like kind of that's what he's known for, like one of the things he's known for. Obviously, he's like the master craftsman god, armor, the smith god. But so yeah, kind of went on a little bit of a tangent, but like I hope we get more of him. Not just that moment in an episode. I know they're not gonna have him like move up and down or something. They could have him like just disappear and appear somewhere else, to kind of limit how much he has to move around. I know he can move around. I just don't know. I don't know to the extent. Still. But man, these poor kids, dude. They are 12 years old, and it's weird. It's because I think I've said this before. It feels different. Like I knew they were young, like they were 12 years old in the books. You read it and you on a base level, at least for me. I mean, it could just be me, but like I'm just now like I when I'm reading it or listening to it, whichever the case may be at the time, I'm like, yeah, they're 12, but I'm just kind of like going on. I was like, oh yeah, they are 12, by the way. But no, like seeing it, it's very different. Like again, when the trailer first came out and they showed like there was like a panning shot of the kids when they're getting ready for capture the flag. You see, little kids like younger than 12, armored up, training so that they can survive being killed by monsters and such. And it's just like really heartbreaking to think about. But they need the training so that they can survive, because the monsters aren't going to care that they're trained or not. They're going to come after them regardless. So they unfortunately need the training. And then the fact they have to make these decisions, Percy and Annabeth, like her having to allow him to do that. Like you're letting your someone who maybe you're not super close with, but it's not someone that you have any ill will towards, and then you're starting to grow a friendship with them, and you're having to let them walk into what could be like maybe their death, or at the very least they're forever encased in gold in that case. Like both were going through a lot. Like one, there's the fact that Annabeth had, having to allow Percy to do that, and she has already lost Thalia. Like, this is another, like, I was thinking this before. I don't think I said anything about it, but whenever Percy was, they hadn't joined back up yet. After he fell into the the water, or not fell into the water, before he was saved by the water. She was, I don't know if necessarily she was hopeful, or if it was more so just like desperation of like, he's alive, he's alive, I know it. But she'd already lost Thalia, and it's like they're just now kind of starting to sort of, grow a bond as kind of new as it is, and then but she's just gonna lose that all of a sudden. And again, happening just right after that, happening here again, where he's sacrificing himself, not as like, I'm gonna be the selfless one, but it's like, you're better than I am. Like, I don't want to necessarily I don't want to do this. I wish we could do this I wish there was another way around this, but I can't see it. You can't see it either, and you're better at this whole, surviving and fighting thing than I am. So it's like, you need to be the one to do this. You need the one to, stop the world from going into war, and to, save my mom. Like, that's another thing that, like, he wants to save his mom. So it's just like, man, that was so. And like, I like the moments leading up to like that situation where she was talking to Hephaestus as well. Like whenever they're like, we obviously got a little bit of that during the conversation in the train. Whenever he was like, I don't understand you guys think that, like, you know, how you guys, I don't understand how you guys talk, or whatever what he said, but I don't like. Basically, he wasn't agreeing with how their thought process was of just like having to do this to, you know, get the attention of the gods, to get their approval, to, you know, having to beat up Clarice to get his father to claim him, to pay attention. It's like all these things, like he didn't like you know, that's not how people who care each other should, you know, treat each other. And then we're seeing, you know, in the Tunnel of Love thing, you know, seeing Hephaestus' story. And I do like that in this one also, Percy knows the story. Because I think Annabeth, I don't remember, it was either Annabeth or somebody else. It might have been Hephaestus. Somebody told Percy that it was, that, you know, that this, that, I, like, that Hera was the one that, like, basically tossed him from Olympus, because there's you know, two versions, probably more, I don't remember, but there's the one where like Zeus throws him from Olympus, and then there's the one where Hera is the one that throws the one in Olympus, and that's the one that they use in the books, but they use both. They're like saying, like, you know, the usual story of Zeus doing it, but then, you know, somebody mentions like that's the one that Hera wants people to know, because she's the one that did it, because Hephaestus doesn't fit in her perfect family, her idea of a perfect family. So it's just, you know, seeing that, seeing how, you know, how they, and then seeing the bits of like Ares taking of Aphrodite, and Aphrodite doesn't want to be with Hephaestus, so that's, you know, it's kind of unfair. And Zeus kind of like, you know, put Aphrodite and Hephaestus together, but, you know, still the way that they treated him was, you know, unnecessary. Like, regardless, I mean, the gods cheat no matter who, you know, they don't just cheat on each other, or they don't just cheat with the other gods, they cheat just with everybody. So it's not new, but it's just like, this is how they treat each other. They cheat all the time. And it's just like Percy seeing this, like, you know, I like that he already knew this, that his mom is the one that was telling him this, she's the vehicle of like all these stories, and he has a little more knowledge than Percy in the books did, actually, which I like that. I like that there's still gaps in it. Like, he's not like, you know, like Annabeth. Like, they didn't make him the kind of like the fun bits of Percy. Like, one, he's sassy. He's very you know, sarcastic and snarky, and dense, which that was a little more annoying. So he's not as dense in this one, but there was a dense moment, like like the part where he talks to Grover and Annabeth is like, there's something more to this, and he's like, the last one to kind of put that together, aren't I? And I was like, yep. I was like, oh well. So I do like that. That was really funny how they brought that. And he's like, he's still kind of catching up. So I like that they're not making him just like perfect, especially since he's still new to this world. But, you know, his mom is trying to prepare him and tried to like also make him better than how the gods were. She's telling him that like that's how the gods treat each other. And it was really kind of hard for like she wanted to keep me away from you guys, the camp, you know, from the world of the gods, so that he didn't turn out like them, or he didn't deal with that kind of treatment. And again, them showing that, and Annabeth, you know, showing her both in the train, and how, you know, just kind of hearing about how his mom was treated him, and how she told this, like the story she told, and like the like from the points of view, like with the Medusa thing, going to Hephaestus, like, you know, like you were like that, Zeus is like that, or Ares like that, Zeus is like that, my mom's like that. That one's like, I feel so bad for Annabeth, because like after you know feeling separate from her father, like the only thing other than, you know, Luke and such, like in the other camp members, and Athena's like the only other one she had, and now like the fact that the one little thing that wasn't even directly her, she's like, all right, I'm gonna let you, you know, I'm not gonna help you, you know, if you die, that's on you, I'm not gonna help you here. It's just like and Hephaestus is like, you know, take this shield, I feel like I recall that being some kind of thing. I think Percy had said that in the book or something. I don't remember, but I feel like that's I feel like I recognize that line from Hephaestus to Annabeth. I don't remember. But like saying, you know, it's a lot even from her. You take this, she'll forgive you, blah blah blah, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Like I don't want to. This isn't right. I don't want to be like that anymore. He's not like that. I don't want to be like that anymore. It's just like, man, they're 12 years old, guys. That's just like these poor kids are like so like. And again, Ares talking about how much he doesn't even like his kids. Like he's like a little bit, but still. And I'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I don't want to stray too far, but it's just like it's just really heartbreaking that the kids, like these kids, are having to go through this. Percy and Annabeth having to make this decision to for one of them having to sit in the chair, and that has to be so terrifying. Like when he's feeling like the gold creep over him. I need to go back and read because I feel like I recognize that. It was different, obviously. They changed the way it worked. There wasn't. They have to speed up the kind of like the flow of it a little bit. There's only 3 episodes left of the season, which really sucks. Very short. And I sometimes I do feel the episodes are a little shorter than I'd like. Last episode especially was very short. Which helped me with editing, but I mean, still, I would like to have a little more of the show to enjoy. Granted, it's still much better than the movie, but it's still like I wish there's more. But hey, who knows? Maybe the last 2 episodes will be like an hour long each. Probably not, but one can hope. But yeah, they changed it to kind of like the sort of be more of a brighter spark in their friendship, maybe like something that starts that a little bit more their growing connection a little bit faster. Especially since we only have 3 episodes left. I don't know if I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed. It's not necessarily. It would have been more funny. I think well, I don't know. It might have been, depending on how. The mechanical spiders, like that was supposed to be more like for Athena anyway. Those are more sort of like in. There were mechanical spiders, right? Yeah, there were. Which is interesting because again, it was supposed to be meant for Athena and Ares. So why he put mechanical spiders in there, I don't know. So it does make a little more sense that they weren't in here actually. So I do kind of like that. It would have been kind of funny, maybe terrifying if they did show up, but like so that we like just to get that bit of info, also that like little bit of lore that isn't necessary, but just to see that they might showcase it like her fear of spiders in a different way. Again, not necessary to have it right now. It doesn't really serve the plot at this point. It's just a little bit that I would just think it's funny. Like also I was mentioning at the ending with like him talking to a zebra, with Percy talking to a zebra. I'm wondering if we're gonna get that in the beginning of the next episode. I don't know. Again, not necessary, but I think it'd be funny. But just also like kind of another little nod into like what his powers can do. Like he's able to speak with horses, and aquatic life. I'm also wondering if they're gonna implement like him being. Like he can be dry if he wants when he goes in the water, because there was again the bit when he climbed out of the from in whenever he fell, and then there was when he was leaving when him and Annabeth almost got drowned, were almost drowned. Like he was wet in both. I mean, again, he's starting to grasp his abilities, so he's still kind of new to them, which I kind of like actually. Thinking about it, like him being, I'm just wondering if they're going to bring that in, like learn to be able to like make sure he's dry from now on instead of coming out wet. I do kind of like it was having like he still doesn't have a full grasp of his abilities, so he's trying to like when he saved Annabeth, it was like sorry, it was tickling my nose. It was just like this torrent of water that like got both of them out of the water. So so that she wouldn't drown. He couldn't reach her. I don't know what was. I think it was just like the strong current that was pulling them apart. But she was just like in shock because she hadn't actually. I mean, she saw the thing with Clarice, like the 3 jets of water that came out of the toilet. So she knows he has a powerful ability, like especially with the water healing him. Because none of the other demigods at the camp at this moment have that that powerful of a connection with their godly side. But sorry, again, more tangents, and I apologize. Where was it going? I don't know if this is where I left off, and I'm sorry I forgot. But I just wanted to like make it known how that I feel real terrible for these kids, because this is just unfair. The kind of situation, the kind of crap they're being put through as 12-year-olds. Also, very interesting change was Ares deciding to keep Grover as collateral. Granted, he didn't do much in the books in that situation with going into the water park. So I liked what they did with that, because he had more to do in this situation. It was very interesting because we got to have more time with Ares, because again in the books, Ares gave us this mission to get his shield, and then we left, and obviously we didn't have more time with him. But in this way, we got to have both, where Annabeth and Percy go deal with the shield problem, but then we have Grover, and he's kind of like our vehicle to have more time with Ares. I mean, granted, we could just have Ares, him doing whatever stuff on his own, or dealing with people that maybe we need to see him talking to or something. I don't know. But this just makes more sense, and that we're not just like randomly following Ares when we just met him and stuff. But I like that Grover was prying him for information, but like subtly at times. But then times he was just kind of like showing how that he was kind of on to Ares about something. Just the kind of look on his face. And I think in that moment, I feel like I felt Grover being 24. Now again, Satyrs age differently, so I don't know if him 24 is like equivalent to our 12, or if that's just I don't know. But like in terms of mature, not like lifespan, like saying dog years to our years. Just like I'm wondering if like while he has lived 24 years, if he's just maturity wise younger. I know it looks like a 12-year-old or a younger kid. But regardless, his like manipulation is there, like he was appealing to his ego and to his his importance, and like tying it into like even to nature, and like making it a very good argument, a believable connection to a believable reasoning as to why he's a fan of his, and got him to actually talk. He's like got him introduced, like, so where did I meet you again? And then even going so far as to being like, has she always been like that? Has Athena always doing stuff to like make her seem smarter than she is, or make trying so hard? And he like you could tell he was really like, even when they were doing the lean in, like you knew that he felt like he found a kindred spirit or something in that moment. It's like, thank you. Finally, I knew I wasn't the only one seeing that. And it's just, I don't know, Grover did such a great job. It's just like, because it's funny, it's interesting because the satyrs, I believe they have like a empathic ability. It's different. They haven't showcased it, but like he has an empathy link with Percy. But I don't think that's till later, till like the next book. Anyway, regardless, satyrs have some kind of magic, so I don't know if that has something to do with it, or if it was just Grover and being able to manipulate Ares, because Ares has such an ego, and not thinking that someone like Grover would be able to one up him, or would be able to sweet talk him or manipulate him or whatever. And the very interesting things of when he was talking to him, and he seemed like was having some kind of headache, and he was like, you'd be the one that tracked down the lightning thief. Or maybe Grover does know, because I don't know. I feel like it would be weird for them to. I'm gonna be able to do a little quick spoiler thing here for those that haven't read the books, but like Luke is the one that stole the lightning bolts, and we know Ares did track him down and tried to stop him, but then Kronos reached out, which is who reached out to Luke, and convinced, basically he's infected Ares, or he reached out to Ares. Effectively, is what happened. And I don't know. There's a weird thing. Like, there's a point later on where later in the book, after they find out that Ares gave Percy the lightning bolt, which is, I'm assuming what happened with that, which is what I'm assuming is what that bag was that it gave him. Like, there's like a enchantment on it, to where basically it is hidden, or it's not there until it gets to Hades, and then it'll show up along with Hades' helm of shadows, darkness, something, I can't remember. His item was stolen as well. I don't know if they're going into that, or if it's just going to be the lightning bolt. Ares is like, he's not quite he's kind of on Kronos' side. It's like he's being manipulated. I don't remember the exact details. But we saw that there was like he seemed like he was being it could have just been that Grover was annoying him, but it just seemed like he was confused and then kind of like having a sort of a headache. So similarly, that's like kind of hinting at, or showing that if this, when you finish this series and then you go back and it's like, oh, this was them kind of like hinting at, his involvement with the whole lightning bolt thing, and his possible manipulation, like that he's being manipulated. But Grover did that really well, though. Like, even though he kind of like made it obvious at points, but like the fact that he dug as much information out of him as he did. I mean, it wasn't really like hiding stuff, but it's just the fact that he got him talking as he did. Just not something I would have expected, and I just thought that was really well done. And I get really annoyed when people are watching this and they're just saying Grover's useless, and it's just like, have you seen the couple things he's done already? throughout the first, like the third episode, he's the one that actually got through to. Sorry, doesn't matter. But yeah, and I'm just wondering, like, if they find out, because they're in the books again, they don't find out until they get to the underworld. Not even then. They don't even figure it out until after, like, basically kind of the epilogue. I don't think it was an epilogue, but they don't find out until they get back to camp, and Luke basically, lets the cat out of the bag. Which I'm gonna be really sad about that when that happens, because I really like the actor that plays Luke. Like, seemed like a sweet kid, and it's just like for those who read the book, we know what Luke has gone through, and like what he's going through right now, and the kind of manipulation that Kronos is doing, and it's really tough knowing what's going on with Luke. Very interesting what they did show with Ares. Like, it's even like when their first interaction with him, like with Annabeth, like she spoke up more. I don't think she did, and like she didn't. I think she was the smarter one and like didn't, speak up against Ares the way that she does. With like the fire, which was awesome. But it's just like that's I would expect Percy, who's a little bit more rash than Annabeth tends to be. I mean, she has her rash moments, but I did like that it wasn't. It's not that Annabeth is scared. It was just more so that she knows the right time, and that isn't the right time when you're speaking with Ares, who is god of war, violent, quick to anger. And then, of course, Percy did do his thing as well at the end. He basically challenged him. But also, like, the thing of, Ares going on, like, telling him about, like, his family, how they're messed up, and that's why he loves them, which he might actually be mean, but it's just such a weird, like, I don't know. I mean, it was interesting, like, seeing Ares' connection to, like, his familial connections, like, how, if he actually cares about them, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he loves conflict, so it's just like that he might actually care for his family because of that, and it's just it's interesting that, thing to include. Also interesting, I don't know if he means this, or if he's saying this because of, what's going on with him, that, saying Zeus wants war. I could see that being a thing, but, saying Zeus wants war and that your thing's going to fail, or your quest is going to fail, that's because he's planning for it too. He's basically, he's given them the lightning bolt, so when they get to Hades, to the underworld, it'll show up. He sent them on to, he specifically told them the Lotus, I can't remember if he said that last time too, but he told them the Lotus Casino, which is going to be a problem. And they mentioned that Hermes works there, which is interesting. I don't recall if Hermes worked there last time, or in the books. I know at the very least we didn't run into him in the first one. Pretty sure, anyway. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be if we're gonna have the same situation that happens. I'm kind of picking and choosing what bits what I'm spoiling. This one's not super huge necessarily, but also I feel like not as spoilery as the stuff I've said. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, just touching again on this, like how Grover was manipulating Ares, like even going to like naming specific wars that I guess Ares holds a little more care to, like that he cares for, about the people that people don't think about or talk about those wars anymore, like having some emotional connection to them. But I mean, they were also less violent, so I don't know. It's a weird thing that Ares, I don't know. But it was funny that he picked out wars that basically were, more, not ancillary, what's the word? I can't think of it, but that aren't talked about as often. So it was just very funny and clever that Grover was able to like reach into that and, actually kind of get Ares to open up, leading to information that he might know that might actually tell him. I'm wondering, I don't know. I feel like the impact would be better if they wait until the end to reveal the lightning thief. I don't know. I'll wait to see because maybe the whole thing is he thinks Ares is the one that stole the lightning bolt. I don't know. Because the way Grover was kind of, grilling him, it made it seem like he found who the lightning thief was. So, I don't know. Oh, okay, I know it's a small thing, and I don't know if I kind of like a little reaction. But there was I was kind of like trying to latch on to other stuff, but like the fact that she said seaweed brain, and it made me so happy. And it was like, she has a nickname for him now. That's the first time she's called him that. And it felt so much different than when she first calls him that in the book. Like in the one, she meant it as an insult. I mean, she meant it as kind of an insult here as well, but not with. It was different the way she's like how it felt here than what it did in the book the first time she said it. Because she again when she would call him that, she like it started off as more just as straight up just insult, but then it was just a term of endearment. But so yeah, this one was kind of like her growing comfortable in a way. I felt like if that like how it felt was like that was her getting comfortable with Percy, or getting comfortable with at least to be open enough to Percy, or to be familiar with him. I could be looking too much into that, but because of the fact that I liked that moment because she called him seaweed brain. But yeah, It's the little things. I'm very curious because it was kind of like this in the book, in the books as well. That Athena's usually is a bit more like logical, a bit more what's the word? Rational. I don't know, but you know, thinking with her head first rather than her emotions, which, you know, could be argued that could be a good thing sometimes with, you know, not being rash to jump into battle, but then, you know, she's also prideful, and, you know, a thing of just like being embarrassed. She's like, well, I'm embarrassed by my daughter, so I'm gonna let her die. It's just like that kind of a thing. Is just I'm sorry I don't keep bringing that up, but it's just so infuriating that. That one, something so small. Well, not so small because that thing could have killed somebody. But again, I don't know if Medusa's head can kill the gods because again, Athena made her that way. So it'd be really weird if she could be killed by her own curse that she made. I don't know. But then there's like even Poseidon. Like again, he was probably there whenever the head showed up, and if he wasn't, he would have heard about it because Hephaestus did. But he still saved Percy. Granted, you know, he was his. Maybe he found it funny, but it was just like it. You know, they're kind of showcasing Poseidon as to, well, there's like different countries because this is the one. It's just the gods. Like the gods are just bad. They're selfish. That's what I should say. They're like inconceivably selfish. There's just, you know, mortal lives are just they mean very little to them a lot of times, even their own children. I don't know, and then they're just like a lot of times they don't necessarily care if they die, but they're like kind of showing Poseidon does. Maybe he's changed, or like they did in the books too. Obviously, like they were showcasing like they didn't. There's just, it's very complicated. Gods aren't just one. They're not just like always terrible, but a lot of times they are. I don't know. I'm going to go on a ramble with that. I'm so sorry. But yeah, great episode. Again, we are getting close to the end, and I'm really upset by that because we only have 3 more episodes. 3 more episodes. We're gonna be dealing with the Lotus Casino, maybe. At the very least, they have to head somewhere. I already forgot what he said it was. Santa Monica. That's it. Sorry. Okay. Gotta go to Santa Monica. I'm assuming that's where he's gonna get the pearls. I thought that he gave them the pearls here. I don't remember. He wants us to go to Santa Monica to meet him. It's been such a long time since it's been a few years. Like I don't remember when I last listened to the Percy Jackson. It wasn't that long ago. I want to say at least 3 years ago was when I last listened to the Percy Jackson series. But it's been a minute. It just, some details they just leave. So I don't remember all the things from the Lightning Thief. I'm gonna have to re-listen to it. But yeah, again, there's the Lotus Casino. So we don't got a lot. If we get the Lotus Casino, we're going through a lot. I'm wondering what we keep, because there's a thing there's a scene that's not super necessary. I forgot what his name is, but that guy for those who read the books, that dude that stretches people out. I can't remember what he is. And then of course there's actually getting to the underworld. I'm interested in what they're gonna do with Sharon, the boatman that takes you across the river Styx, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious to see how that goes, and we're gonna see Persephone and Demeter. That'll be interesting. And I don't know who Ares is. Again, I don't want to know who it is. It would have been a great surprise if I didn't know, Timothy Omundson was in it. But it's fine. It's fine. That's my fault for looking at the trailers. But well, that wasn't even the trailer that showed me. I just stumbled on the info. I kind of wish I hadn't known. But that one, I'm just more excited that happened. But I'm curious to see who plays Ares. And I'm just curious to see how they're gonna play out the rest of the. They've made some good. Well, I've liked pretty much all the changes I think they made. I think. But overall, I haven't been enjoying the season, so. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I am super excited for what we have coming up. I don't know what all they're gonna change. There's already like a lot of like kind of character growth and story changes that have been made and added that add to the characters. So very excited to see where that goes.